Hello cavers! Today we're in the middle of the Steam Real Strategy Fest. Browsing through the new demos, there are a few that are interesting, and today I wanted to go over the Grey Galactic demo, which stood out to me. While not a new concept in any way, it is a testament to the fact that sometimes simplicity can be the most profound and engrossing thing of all. I will mention that while I thoroughly enjoyed the demo, I did experience a few CTDs here and there. Your mileage may vary with that. The Grey Galactic demo does not boast any flashy graphics or complicated mechanics. Instead, it invites you into its universe with simplicity. The interface is clean and intuitive, allowing you to navigate easily. It quickly becomes apparent that the goal of the game is to eliminate the other faction. And there's a hint in the interface that there may be multiple factions, since it both mentions that there are AI players, which are playing as humans. Ideally, this means that there are going to be AI players that are non-human in the future. And anyways, initially we can see that there are three types of ships that we can build: a settler, a scout, and a simple combat ship. Movement is simply dragging and clicking, and building on planets is an interesting minigame of trying to maximize the resources you gain by placement of a variety of buildings. Each one gives you a set of resources and uses a set of resources. For example, settlements produce credits, but they require food. Food farms require power but give you food. There's also a research building that can be used to upgrade your other buildings. An upgraded hub results in you being able to upgrade your shipsmith and your shipyard, and also gives you the ability to build some offensive and defensive buildings, such as shields for the planet, or maybe a big cannon to shoot down enemies. In any case, learning the basics really does just takes a few seconds, and it quickly becomes apparent that the idea is to collect resources, increase your ship capacity via building more shipyards, which themselves require the development of your planets. Once you have several ships, you can send those off to beat the enemy and take their planets. I think the reason the gameplay of the demo works for me is the real-time factor of the game combining well with the overall simplicity of it. You're trying as quickly as possible to switch between buildings of your planets, building ships on those planets, exploring, settling new colonies, attacking new enemy planets, maybe defending newly acquired planets while you build up your resources for your next attack. In the demo, the medium AI enemy is very easy to beat, and while it does seem active and does things if you just sit there, I had no trouble defeating it, even if I did initially suffer some losses here and there. As this is the first scenario in the game, I expect it to get harder with later scenarios. It would have been nice to get a few more scenarios in the demo to give you the ability to gauge the overall difficulty of the game. I do have a few negatives to talk about the demo, although overall I really enjoyed my time with it. The first one is a simple CTD. It's fairly uncommon these days for me to encounter CTDs in demos these days, mainly because the demos I look at just seem to not have them that much. My system overall seems to be relatively stable, and I just don't normally get them. In this particular demo, a CTD happened in almost every time that I played it. There's a 100% reproducibility CTD for me when I click the next mission button on a campaign. That one is easily gotten around, but I've also just crashed just playing through the scenario a few times. I did manage to beat it once, and I played it 4 times now, and 3 out of the 4 times the game crashed before I could get to the end of the scenario. So that could be frustrating for some players. If you don't want to experience any CTDs, definitely don't play this demo yet. Wait until they patch it. Hopefully it will get patched. My second negative, I think this is probably super nitpicky, and you can probably just skip it if you don't care about game design and game design principles. One thing that you notice right away about the game, as I said, are that one of its design pillars has to be simplicity. Most things are designed in a way to make them simple to understand, and your main combat ship during the demo is called a simple ship. And yet, for some reason, when you click on the campaign button, you are greeted with 3 tutorial missions, separate campaign missions, each one covering movement, building, and combat. And I know that this is going to sound super picky. Keep in mind, I really enjoyed the demo. And as I said the presentation is sleek, minimalistic. In a demo that features a single scenario to show off gameplay, it seems really odd then that when you go to the campaign, the only missions available are completely dedicated to teaching players about movement, building, and combat, which are simple concepts that you can pick up within seconds. Seeing this makes me think that there are more complexities that I am missing here. But having gone through all 3 campaigns, I can tell you that it's relatively simple. Yes, there are nuances to the game, but I think you can pick those up during gameplay. I don't think you need 3 separate campaign missions in this game to teach players about how the game works. That said, I only have access to what we see in the demo. Maybe there's more context within the campaign that makes it make more sense to have 3 separate campaign missions. But especially for me, because I was crashing every time I click the next mission button at the end of a mission in the campaign, it was getting rather frustrating for me to go through the tutorial by loading each individual mission and then crashing out. Maybe that contributed to my negative view of that feature. But going back to the beginning, I think we just need to keep it simple, get rid of the 3 separate missions in a campaign, and either gray out the campaign button so that we'll know that there's a campaign, not in the demo yet, or just consolidate those into a single mission for the campaign, have an actual campaign mission, and just incorporate the tutorial as the beginning of that mission. Or put that same concept into the scenario mission. So incorporate tutorial steps into the scenario mission. I think it's fine. The AI is not so aggressive that I think it's going to be a problem to teach players about how to play the game on the scenario mission. That's really my only nitpick, and I know it's the sort of thing that game design nerds would be arguing about. And I totally understand if the developer disagrees and wants to go in a different direction. Obviously, they have done that. But for me, I thought that was a little bit of a weird way of approaching it, because you're trying to keep things as simple as possible, and yet you've separated your tutorial into 3 missions. Anyways, I'll stop ranting about it now. I apologize. If you're still watching, thank you so much for listening to me, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.